Okay, quick little rant before I go off to lunch. Don't know when I'm gonna upload this to YouTube, but I hope you guys enjoy it when I upload it, because just hearing my voice might be a little better, because you don't have to distinguish between like what sounds are going in the game and what sounds are for me. Because sometimes I try to imitate the music. But anyway, first rants today are just some sort of me rambling on a tad, you could argue, is on the term cult. Obviously, this is a nice buzzword to start with. From significant enough amount of research, the term cult is, the common usage today, of course, it tends to imply a dangerous group with the charismatic leader, very simply put, teachings, almost ostracism and self-ordained exile from society. The people do not want to conform to any kind of social centrality or social norms, because they feel that, of course, from what I remember from my new religions class, the idea is that they feel threatened, they feel marginalized. So of course what they do is they just keep separating themselves. And of course there are almost degrees of cults, you could argue. There's some that are just on the border, and then there's some that have literally completely alienated themselves from society. Somewhat like what happened about good 6 months, let's go about 6 months ago in Texas. That's the kind of idea. They literally alienated themselves from society in order to maintain some feeling of purity, or some feeling of maintaining solidarity. Their group maintains a consistency and doesn't fall apart or anything, and isn't affected by society who is trying to oppress them or something. That's a lot of times it's perceptions of things, but that's a whole other rant to talk about. But the original meaning of the word just seems to have originated from a Latin term, which implied just kind of a standard of worship and standard of concern towards something, to pay respect to it, you could say. I'm not certain about this, but that's the idea. That the original term of that cult comes from is the Latin word cultus, or cultus, just C-U-L-T-U-S, cultus, which can apply to any religion. The term religion existed in Latin alongside the term cultus. They weren't synonymous, but I believe they were just used in different contexts, kind of like how in Greek there are certain words that mean very similar, but they're nuances of each other. With the term cultus, we have a particular part of religion, which is the worshiping, the paying of respects to whatever you pay respect to. The unseen force, the unseen and omnipotent deity or deities, or in some cases it could even just be a particular ritual that keeps that religious point within the religion, even if it's more of a religion that's, you could call it humanistic, that's maintains the human aspect of existence as the thing we should place our concerns upon. But anyway, with this term cultus, we have a distinction that needs to be made, because there's almost an in-between. We have cultus, which implies that it's a socially accepted practice, like you do in any church, temple, mosque, synagogue, gurdwara, etc. Paying respects to whatever, however you do it, it's socially accepted. But then we have, of course, the other end of the extreme with cult, which is completely, socially unacceptable, and is usually seen as very dangerous to the adherents and people associated with them many times. But then we have the in-between terms, like you've heard of something being a cult phenomenon, which, like the Dark Knight, for a relatively recent example, it's become a cult phenomenon of sorts, which doesn't imply cult on the idea of being so socially unacceptable and rebellious that you create this group that seals itself off nor is it simply a socially acceptable form of paying respect. It's in between. It's what you could call a fandom, basically. Anything. I mean, Japanese anime, manga, a lot of these can be called cult phenomena because when people mention these things to others that aren't exactly in the know-how, they're a little off-put, but they're not like, whoa, you're creeping me out. They're just like, well, I haven't heard about that, but some people want to learn about it. Some people, accept its existence, but don't get involved themselves. But yeah, just 3 little distinctions I feel are important to make. And I'm still debating on what to call this, but you could call it just me ranting on semantics. Semantic rants, whatever. Anyway, this is the first one. The buzzword is cult. Next buzzword will probably be occult, just to make a transition to the next one. Albeit occult will probably be a shorter one, and might transition to another word. Anyway, this is the end of the semantic rant for now. Peace out.